This is how the Canadian, well, this is how government suffered once they tried setting me up in 2014. This is how their economy suffered. I'll just show you here. Oops. Hold on. This is Canada's GDP. Okay, it's not it. All this kind of sucks. So 10 years. Anyways, this is 2014. This is 2015. So they tried to set me up in 2014, and this is how much it changed in 2015. You can see it went down. That's Canada's. It shows up much better on a computer. So these are all monarchies. Every single one of them went down. And they tried to set me up in 2014, I believe. Every single one of them. So that'd be the true monarch of all these countries. So I'll go down here. GDP. Per capita GDP. We'll do the 10-year trend. And you can see how there was 2014 and 2015 it went down. So that'd be this with Thailand. So it'd be the true king of all these countries. Look up GDP, go 10-year. You can see there's 2014, 2015 went down. All these monarchies that went down, they tried to sell me a gun to get off the streets. So they wanted to throw me in prison. And it's past the 10-year statute of limitations down in Canada. That's why I mention it. And but you can see because of somebody named Sparling, I believe. And so see 2014, 2015, because I was watching a show DEA. And this is before marijuana was legalized. It was decriminalized, but it was like a $90 fine for $10. So I was buying $10 worth of marijuana, 1 gram. And they tried to set up me, somebody buying a gram of marijuana over a drug dealer. We'll show Canada's corruption and collusion in the future. Let's see, because 2014 to 2015, every monarchy lost money that I checked. Every one of them. Every one of them. They all went down, but not all countries went down in 2015. Not all countries. You can see how there's 2014, 2015. They all went down. All these monarchies went down because they tried to set me up. They wanted to put me in prison. So the countries, I guess, that didn't participate, their economies went up. And the countries that did participate, particularly monarchies, they all went down. Because the true king, what are the chances of that? They all went down. Sweden's GDP, Oman's GDP. 2014, 2015. Let's see. So here's the USA's. I'm not going to go through all that monarchies. I just want to show that America must not have participated in or something, because their economy went up. There was 2014, 2015 in America. They had the rate, firearms rate, so they might have liked the fact that I tried to get a gun off the street. So once again, I'll show you Canada. So America's went up, and I'll show you how much Canada lost. They lost over $200 billion trying to set me up. And they have me hospitalized right now in the mental health ward. And when I sought asylum in 2019, I'll just show you how they lost money in 2019 or 2020. So they tried to set me up in 2014, 2015 it went down. I sought asylum in 2019, so they lost money in 2020 as a result for setting me up. They were the only 2 years that they lost money. This is when they tried to set me up, and when I sought asylum, and they had me hospitalized from May and June in 2025. So their economy is scheduled to contract 5.6%, which is $123 billion for 3 months. So they get for fucking with me. Like, unofficially, I'm the most powerful man on the planet. So I'll just show you here. So let's see what they were worth. So they were worth $50,000, almost $51,000 in 2014, and then they lost like almost $7,000 per person for trying to set me up. And then in 2019 they were worth $46,000, and then 2020 they were worth $43,000. So they lost $3,000 per person. So I'll just show you what that means in real money. So in 2014 they were worth $1.806 trillion, and then 1.557 trillion. So just do some math here, show you how much. I guess I won't do the point. So in 2014 to 2015, they lost $249 billion for trying to set me up. And how much did they lose? So 1.744, 1.656. And they don't think I have any power, and that's the funny thing. That's 1.656. And they lost $88 billion in 2019 to 2020 in Canada. I'll just show you here, because actually I'll show you differently. I'll Google search, because usually I had to go on a computer to find this, because when I use Google AI overview, they try to show me that the economy went up. So let's see what they did this time as well. They give me different results. You can see right here, at the bottom here, it says okay, I can see the history. I'll go to the history here. See where I checked the history earlier today. Okay, I'm not even showing it here. My actual search, that's crazy. Show me a historical chart, but I see it in the search, but it said on like the Canada's GDP go up from 2014 to 2015, but they're not even showing it in my history. See, yes, Canada's GDP did increase from 2014 to, so they lied here, because on the other on actual facts, this is the AI overview, so it lied. when I first searched, right, because once again, like this is like micro trends. This is actual, this is an artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence AI overview, I get different results from AI overview. This is actual historical evidence online for micro trends. So I'll just show you here 10 years GDP. So once again, it was worth 1.806 in 2014 and went down 2015. So, you know, this is actual statistical metadata. This AI overview, you can't trust it on Google. This proves this. And so what was the next search I wanted to search on Google here? Oh yeah, is Canada's GDP schedule to attract second quarter 2025. That's April, May, June, July. Expect to see a muted growth and a significant contraction in the second quarter, according to the latest Main Street quarterly report. So they might give me better information, but I'll just show you right here. I already took a picture from before, because this is how they this is how the government allows people to hack my phone. I'll just show you here. You can see how this was at 422. I had 2 apps running, and I was only using 52% of my RAM, my memory. That's RAM, random access memory. And this was at 10:05 a.m. I had 3. I was using 66%, 3 68%, none 71%. Right, so I had there's no cleanable apps running in the background. How could I be using 71% of my memory at 10:04 a.m. But then later on, when they stopped hacking me, I was only using 52%. So the Canadian government allows people to hack my phone. This is proof of that. Let's see. The Canadian economy is expected to experience significant contraction in the second quarter 2025, with some forecasts predicting a contraction of 5.6%. So this is because I'm in the hospital. It's because they're trying to send me out. They're trying to say that I have schizoaffective disorder, which is typically, I'll just show you here. Typically for women. My brother said I threw him down a dumpster. He's deceased now, but an African trained doctor is running with this. But 2 Canadian trained doctors didn't run with it. They released me without medication, but an African trained doctor wants to medicate me, so I'm fighting it. So I've been hospitalized for almost 2 months. But my brother said I threw him down a dumpster. The last time I had a dumpster was in 1990. It's 2025, and we lived on the 4th floor, and it was enough for a small plastic bag, this dumpster. So maybe if he was 5 years old, or if he tried to get in the dumpster and went down, he would have been able to fall down. But it was 40 feet high, so he would have broken his bones. He would have lacerations, contusions, and possibly would have died. There's zero medical evidence of this. And why would it take 30 years to say that somebody is psychosis that doesn't have a criminal record? Right, so this doctor is insane. Schizoaffective disorder. And you see, I'm bipolar. I don't have any of my videos that don't exhibit any bipolar characteristics. I'm super happy or super low. I just get pissed off because I know the Canadian government's violating me. There's a secret system that has a profiling system. I'll just show you afterwards. Does it affect men or women mainly? And at what age? So I was in my 40s. Schizoaffective is more frequently diagnosed to women than men, with onset typically occurring between late teens and early 30s. While women may experience conditions later in life compared to men, both sexes are affected by it. The condition is relatively rare, affecting 0.03% of the population. So let's see, 2035, variation by gender. So anyways, and it typically, like when it does affect men, it's from late teens to early 20s. Let's see. Not men in their 40s. Well, 16 to 30, they're saying now. Not men in their 40s. And, so I don't have any bipolar characteristics, and I've never been convicted of any assaults, and I've never murdered anybody. And there's some rights advisor. She's I haven't been taking medication, and she's insane because she's like, oh, you're doing better now. And last time you're out of it, I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't take my medication, so if anything, I should be doing worse off than not better, right? And so they just kind of rally. It's just a collective group that tries to violate people. This meter. This is all you need is a ghost meter. The ghost meter, also known as a magnetometer, is a Tesla meter. Is an instrument used to measure the strength or direction of magnetic field. Is primarily used to quantify magnetic flux density, often expressed in Gauss or Tesla. So I'll just show you some of the subliminal in Canada. This is why they try to set me up here. But you can see there's a subliminal face right here, so that would have a different Gauss reading than right here. And then right there, there's a picture of, it's supposed to be my face, Christian Meyer. So that would have a different Gauss reading than, so there's a face of a human right there, and you can see a face of a dog right there. So that would have a different Gauss reading right there, but then right beside it. And I'll just show you another, first of all, here's my son. His name's Smolder. He's 19 years old. Look at how muscular he is. He's a tank. And so I'll just show you here. And there's my daughter, Glamour Righty. So here's so where is it? I'll just show you real quick here. But you can see what I look like. This is what I looked like a couple years ago. And this is what the last German emperor looked like. It looks like my twin. And here's what I look like. Here's what Captain James Cook looked like. He discovered Australia. My grandmother, her last name is Cook, her maiden name is Cook. She said that we could be related to Captain James Cook, who discovered Australia. So I'm the tree king. And you can see this is Generation 1 biology. And there's indentations in my back. In my back, I don't have any indentations. So when I challenged the consent and capacity board, I showed them that, like, photographic evidence. They decided to go with hearsay rather than photographic evidence of my biology. They say I have grandiose beliefs. This is Augustus Victoria, her oldest daughter. This is my daughter. She looks identical. This man looks like my father or me when I grow a beard. And once again, that's what I looked like when I was younger. And this is what Edward VIII looks like. You can see he looks like my twin. And here is a subliminal Gauss reading. Like, there would be a Gauss reading there that would be different than there. And it's because Canada puts a magnetic field in surfaces to register people's movements, to steal their agility and attributes. And so once again, here's what I look like. Here's what George VI looked like. He looks like my twin. And I'm saying that I'm the true king of the United Kingdom. And my family went to a royal ball. And you can see where it says Castle, 1871. It was the 28th day of August. You can see the 28th of August. And my family's last name was Campbell at the time. And this was the couple that was getting married in 1871. This was John Campbell, and on the back of the invitation, you could see Mrs. and Mrs. Campbell, where it said Colin Campbell, Colin, and then Campbell. And when I Google searched, it brought up this guy right here, Field Marshal Colin Campbell, who looks like my dad in this picture. And in this picture, he looks like my mom's brother. And he was born on my birthday and my dad's birthday. And he died on he was born October 20th. I was born on October 20th. He died August 14th. My mom died August 13th. And my uncle's only son was born on August 14th. So what are the chances that he was a field marshal, the most powerful man in the British Army when they were a superpower on the planet? And I'll just show you here. So here's me once again. And then here's Edward VIII, who looks like my twin. William II, that looks like my twin. Captain James Cook, who looks like me. And here's Charlotte Mecklenburg Strelitz, his son that looks like me. Here's George V, that looks like me. And here's me as a child. Here's George V as a child, who looks like my twin. You can see the resemblance. And my family went to a royal wedding. My dad had servants, his dad had servants, and Helena has a son named Christian Victor. She was Princess Christian. My name's Christian, and she looks like me. She's a woman. And so this is the Russian, Nicholas, the last Tsar of Russia. He looks like me. And so it's unequivocal. Like, my ex-wife's mom got us, me and my ex-wife, a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel. And my sister lived on Princess Crescent. And I also had a dog named Piper. And behind, I'll just show you here. So screenshots, where is it? Oh, this is a new word to you, brought to you, Smarticus, the Greek god of sarcasm. Gendemonium, and where there's a genuine state of chaos, noise, or wild disorder, often associated with a large crowd or tumultuous situation, which is the Canadian government. So that would be a gendemonium. So right here, so the street immediately behind the Fairmont Royal York Hotel is going north is Piper Street in Toronto and off York. And I had a dog named Piper. So what are the chances that I had a dog named Piper and a dog that was a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel, and my sister lived on Princess Crescent? I have evidence that my family went to a royal wedding, and I looked like some of the attendees. Right? It's because one of my family members, like Colin Campbell, had sex with Helena, and I'm a descendant of that child. And I'll just show you a picture of her. Her son, anyways, Christian Victor. Victor was he was I believe a professional cricketer. Like, he was a good athlete. My dad he went partying, so he missed a tryout for the NHL when he was like 16, 17, when there's only 6 teams. And my grandfather, his father, turned down a professional baseball contract. The first time I played baseball, I was 15 years old. I played against tried out for the rep team. And the very first time I swung at a hardball when they pitched with an actual baseball was for the rep team at 15 years old, the tournament team. And I made the team, but it was $2,000. So I asked my dad to sign me up for house league. I made the paper most weeks, and I got called up to play against 21-year-olds. But I didn't realize it was the last year of baseball. If not, I would have pursued that, and I probably would have had a professional baseball career. I did jump kick and 8-foot ceiling. I'll just show you. This is my agility. Look how effortless I make this look. I have to turn down the volume because there's some music in the background, so I don't want any copyrights, because I put these things. So I'm pretty talented. Like, I wrote a song called Grandma Panties. She started wearing grandma panties like her ass died, and I cried 1,000,000 times. What did I do to that ass? We stand blast. So that's my funny song. Then he's the poker dancer. He knows the answer. He makes the bets. She gets wet with temptation. He is a sensation that people be craving. He is so amazing. So that's my poker theme song. If I was to go into a poker tournament, final table, that would be my entry song. So I just have to turn down the volume of this so you can't hear it right now. But watch how effortless I make this look. So there's a hat here and then a hat here on a different target. This is simulating in case there's two men that were challenging me that wanted to fight me and coming at two different directions. This is what I do to them. So there's that. And this is at 46 years old. This is so I could do that. I could spin a cup of water behind my back and catch it between my legs in street perform. But Canada, develops technology to make me spill the water. I could spin two different cups from my left hand to my right hand and would be able to catch it with water in them. And so anyways, I wrote a song there. It's like, oh, Canada, I got that PhD in seduction, make her body start erupting. I want to be that legend between her thighs. So when I'm away, she can't sleep at night. I'm sweet and Haagen Dazs ice cream. Once I get in between your legs, you'll know what I mean. You feel my words like man-made thunder. You feel the gyrations as I work my lumber. The bedroom looked like a natural disaster. Call FEMA to clean it up afterwards. And fresh off the grill. Something like that. Anyway, so I'm a talented lyricist, and I'm very talented. I doubled my money in the stock market in 16 days. And let's see, I should have the straight flush. I can't search here. So I put a guy in a straight flush. There was 2 straight flush possibilities, and there was 1 4 of kind. There was 3 full houses. There was 1 3 of a kind, and there was 3 2 pairs. The odds were 1 in 3.455 quadrillion. So you would have to play 20 million hands, 172 million lifetimes for the situation to occur. And I was accurate, and I put somebody on this hand on film, and I got exactly 32 views on YouTube because I got secret haters because it made me the true king. And so I'm gonna have to look online, unfortunately. I have different back muscles, different pectoral muscles. I have different bones in my feet than nobody has. And I've requested an x-ray from the Canadian government, and they haven't given me one. So I'll just go to my YouTube channel. So they don't allow me to prove this. A positron emission tomography. I could adjust the chemicals in my brain. I could change my voice by doing that, or I could change my voice in the voice box. And so when I do it in my voice box, you can notice that my mouth changes considerably compared to when I change it, chemicals in my brain. And there's a doctor at the Superior Hospital who I mentioned this to her. I had a sore on my feet, and I had a thought that I was going to get him to feel my voice box, the doctor, and you know what happened? The doctor ended up giving me a prescription without even assessing me. He didn't even assess me because he knew that I was going to get him to feel my voice box, and then it would have showed that. Okay, so why is it? They're not allowing me to get to the video page here.
I just played some poker here, so they just registered a rig to try to steal. No poker player has any government permission.
So when I go to play poker, they register to set me up every single time. Like several hands, I have to keep on unregister myself, where nobody else has to go through this. Like all the time, I have to do this. So you can see how I have 35 views, straight flush, the best call ever, and I don't get any shares because they're secret haters. That so you can watch that. It's only a 2-minute video, but I just want to speed this up.
Going to restaurants, I go to the grocery store so I can do attractions. I end up going to the restaurants every day, but at least one meal. It might be, if the hotel doesn't provide breakfast, it's like, okay, let's go to the grocery store and grab some bananas or some bread and run a flush draw. Let's see how this works out. It's only $2 I have to call because I have the nut flush, but I'm certainly hoping it's because there's the straight flush and a full 4 of a kind. So I think he might have the king. He had the king. So I would have folded if it was more than that, but I just wanted to show that I could put him on the king. If it was more than $2, I would have folded there because I knew that he had the straight flush. Knew he had the straight flush. It's my luck. If I had typical luck.
So I knew he had the straight flush. So I'm just in the wash mirror. It should be seeing all clean, all good, but it doesn't because they try to set me up. And I'm just doing laundry now, so I'm in like hospital gear. But so anyways, I have wrinkles that change on film, and I have a scar that changed on film, and like in the same day. I'll just show you that, but then I'll show you the unique skeleton. But once again, I'm very talented. I got ripped off. Like I signed a contract to buy a house, a fourplex, and there's 4 2-bedroom apartments, and the realtor had 2 weeks to tell me that I needed a 10% down payment. You know what he did? He waited an hour and a half before it closed. The deal closed at 6 o'clock. He called me at 4:30 when the banks closed and said, you need double the down payment. I had $10,000 equity in my car that I would have been able to sell and be able to facilitate me getting this fourplex, right? In 2025, I'd be able to, like, the mortgage was $600 a month. I would have been able to rent it out. Like, I would have been making $5,300 a month in income. I'm homeless. And so I got ripped off a fourplex. Like, basically, like $500,000 at least over the last, this was in 2011, 14 years. I would have made like hundreds of thousands of dollars off this. And, it's past the statute of limitations, so I couldn't sue. And he wasn't really worth much at that point to sue him. Right, but I'm going to get him in the future. Like, he's a generational pedophile, so I'm going to get him. And, it's an attempt to regicide at different times. So I'm going to be able to execute him for attempt to regicide, high treason. But anyways, I also got ripped off in innovation through an innovation company. They just kept on asking for more money. I was doing with the Bank of Montreal at the time, and I had mutual funds. And they're like, hey, if you invest in us over a year, then we'll give you a loan. So after 13 months, I'm like, hey, I'd like to get a loan, and because I'm pursuing this invention. They're like, well, there's no collateral and blah blah blah. So they said no, right? So I invested, I cashed on my mutual funds, and then I come out with $1,000, and the company's like, well, you need $10,000. I'm like, well, fuck, I'm gonna come out $10,000, and then I'm gonna ask for $50,000. So anyways, you sign a contract that. After 3 to 5 years, they could steal your innovation. So at this point in time, I got my ex-wife to ask her father-in-law, who had the money, to be able to invest in this innovation, and he didn't do it. But you know what the cocksucker did about 7 years later? He gave me my fucking innovation. It's like a slap in the face. Like, my ex-wife was his adopted daughter. He had a biological daughter after my ex-wife. And so somebody was hijacking me. They were playing that this man was still alive. He's dead now. But so anyways, people could hijack people with computer-assisted telepathy. YouTube, I'll just show you that it's possible. But anyways, so he gave me the innovation, right? And his biological daughter can't have kids. She's sterile. And my ex-wife gave him 3 grandkids. And he never offered me a job. And he was he was the foreman at a company where he easily could have gave me an apprenticeship, and he didn't. But here's this video is proof that computer assisted help these possible people could listen to your thoughts with computers. And so anyways, he didn't give me a job. So anyways, my ex-wife, his sister, his biological daughter, she meets this guy. Within 3 months, he gave him an apprenticeship at Henderson Metal. He had no kids. He had like pizza experience. I was raising 3 of his grandkids, like working shitty jobs, and he never gave me an apprenticeship. I'm glad the guy's dead now. But anyways, you know, because he was a prick. He was a prick to me. Every single time I looked at him, he's like, and I'm the most exotic guy on the planet, and I wasn't good enough for his daughter. I wasn't good enough. I guess it's because I wasn't with his biological daughter, probably. But it was like the only time he liked me is when I bought a Mercedes-Benz. That was the only time. And so anyways, you know, I'm able to come up with ideas. Like this idea I came up 2 years ago and nobody came up. I'll give it away for free because I don't care. I'm able to invent so much so easily. But I came with this like years ago. Like people wear glasses and have hearing aids. How come they don't have hearing aid glasses? Like in the frame of their glasses, they could have a hearing aid because you see them wearing glasses and they have the big bulky hearing aid at the same time, but they don't have that. Last time I was in the hospital in 2020, like the doctor, like this African trained doctor kept me like in, you know, for a month. And in Africa, the literacy rate is not even 70%. He's not even Canadian trained. Like he may have got some Canadian certification from polishing some fucking, he may be an expert at fellatio. But anyways, so, you know, and he's like, you're saying that you're royal for the money. And it's like, no, I'm not. And like, you know, it's because I am. And so I'm like, well, if I was about the money, I'd come with like the see-through canoe. And I told him this, and they since have came up with this. I wonder if he profited off that, Dr. Obama. Right, I'm going to look into that because Wi-Fi paper currency I also came up with. That means if you buy drugs, if you go and buy, say, an ounce of marijuana or a gram of cocaine, you're going to be stacking money together with 8 balls called. An ounce of cocaine is called an 8 ball. So if you're going to buy an 8 ball, you're going to have paper money on you. And then if that paper money is going to be encrypted and goes on the internet. So if you go to the same house all the time, if the internet, like if the spies and the police, if they see, just say this is the reticle, is money. If they see money going down the street and it's always going to this house, and then all the time they see money going to this house, they know that that's more than likely a criminal organization, right? And then they'd be able to track it. But it also stops bribes from governments. So I was at Yonge and Dundas, and I noticed this guy, he spray painted, his name was Daniel 5:5. He spray painted on asphalt. I'm like, okay, well, this must not be graffiti because they have graffiti removal service, and I've never seen them remove it. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy some spray paint. I'm going to go spray paint my message, my propaganda at Yonge and Dundas, the busiest intersection in Toronto. So I was at Royal York. I walked, and so it's about a 10-minute walk. So I get there. I go to just say this corner. I'm like, Wi-Fi currency stops the bribe. Go to www.change.org/technology. And then this corner right here. Wi-Fi currency stops the bribe. Go to www.change.org/technology. Wi-Fi currency stops the bribe. Go to www.change.org/technology. By the time I got to the 4th corner, police showed up. I was there for like less than a minute. What? Like they had like a 60-second response time because they would listen to my thoughts. So they were en route from the moment I was at Royal York, walking to Yonge and Dundas. And so then they put their handcuffs on me. Then they ran my name. And I'm like, yo, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to do anything because you're going to find out how powerful I am. And then you're going to release me. Right. And I've even told cops like that confront me. I'm like, one day I'm going to be your executioner. I'm going to be king because you're trying to set me up, and I'm going to be your executioner. One day you're going to release me. Nothing's going to happen to me. And then they release me. You know, so what they did was, since they couldn't arrest me, you know, what they did was they brought me, they said, oh, some concerned citizen, you know, said that you were talking and you were being rude to customers. I wasn't being rude to customers. I was filming on my phone like just like this. And so I was like, because like I'm a different species than mankind. And with your species, like because of these generational pedophiles, you're not as smart as what you would be. So you've thought for over thousands of years that the egg may have came before the chicken, or the chicken came before the egg. I'm going to tell you how stupid it is. So this is exactly what I did. I'm like, okay, so super eggs born. And then out comes super egg's legs. Then out comes super egg's wings. Then out comes super egg's head. And this little beak out of the eggshell. And super egg's like, oh shit, I guess I better go up in a tree so I don't get crushed. Right? I don't want to get eaten. Right? So super egg's like, okay, well I can't fly, so I gotta climb the tree. So somehow super egg picks up the 5 eggshell pieces from the 5 holes, from 2 from its leg, 2 from its wings, and 1 from its head. So it has 5 eggshell pieces. And this eggshell, and it climbs the tree. So it's like somehow super egg climbs the tree. And then super egg's like, okay, now I'm up in the tree. What do I need? I need a nest. So then super egg was able to fabricate a nest. So it builds a nest. Then somehow it's like, when you're a kid, when you get your baby, you get them a little like that, the circle, they have the triangle, and they have the square shapes, and you give them the squares, and the kids like trying to put the square in the circle, but then eventually they figure the shapes. So super egg had to do this for the 5 eggshell pieces to get the egg back together. So then all of a sudden super egg became like a turtle. It retracted its legs, retracted its wing, retracted its head and little beak. And then now it has the 5 eggshell piece, and then somehow it was able to, like, maybe with its eyes, was able to weld the eggshell shut, right? And then super egg's like, shit, you know what I need to do? I need to incubate, right? I need to incubate, because eggs are yolk and egg whites and yolk, right? So you guys didn't even postulate, quander, or think, how the fuck did the egg incubate itself? And you thought about this for thousands of years. Like, a hen sits on an egg, it has to keep it warm in order for it to develop into a chick. Like, that's a premise. Like, all chickens sit on their egg, right? So I looked on Google AI overview. I showed you how the results are different, right? They're like, well, sometimes eggs, they go into a depression. So I guess super egg just kind of rolled itself into a depression and built a nest there, right? But most of the time, then at the same time, it's like sometimes they go into depression. But then at the bottom, it's like most of the time, well, contradicted itself anyways, I forget the exact thing. But it basically said it goes up in a tree most of the time, right? Because I've never seen a bird's nest not in a tree. Like in Ontario, once the leaves are gone, you look up in a tree and you see lots of bird nests. They're always in a tree. And so you never thought about how the fuck did the egg incubate itself. So I was making this sarcastic video, and then so the government decided to say that I had a mental health issue that is a threat to myself or other people on May 5th. So I'm like, well, who did this? They're like, well, first they're like, a concerned citizen. I'm like, really? Which concerned citizen? They didn't tell me. Then they're like, well, your doctor. I'm like, well, why haven't my doctor doesn't even know I'm in town. I'm from Toronto. I'm just here on a trip. They're like, oh shit, are you? Then your family must have, right? And then the letter from my sister was dated May 9th, 4 days after I was hospitalized. It's like, just say today's Tuesday. So just say you're planning on robbing a bank on Friday, and it's like getting arrested or robbing a bank on Saturday, and it's like getting arrested on Tuesday, even though the crime never happened. Right? So how ethical is that the letter saying, okay, he has a mental health issue, we're going to use hearsay and not acknowledge the proof, like the back evidence, like the pictures that shows the proof, and the bones, I'll show you bones on my feet that nobody has. They didn't acknowledge any evidence, that they just went based on hearsay. So I'll show you here. So here is, so I'm talking about parasitic humans. And once again with the Gauss meter, like, I showed you how there was different subliminals. So with the Gauss meter, they steal attributes based on this. So Canada was 27th in the world in 1976, the year before I was born, in the Olympics. And then they boycotted the 1980 Olympics because it was in Moscow. Then in 1984, they were now 6th place because of my biology, because I have evolved human biology. So you can see here, this is typical feet. They have a bone right here. They don't have a bone here or a bone there. This is my feet. You can see how I have my ankles there. I got a bone spur there, and I got a ridge right there on both my feet. On both of my feet. So I showed you video evident, like pictures, like there's my ankle once again, there's a bone spur and a ridge right there. And so I showed you evidence how I have different back muscles, now a different skeleton, and I'll show you right now. Nobody has this. Nobody has
That's my sternum. Nobody has that one, like right there. Nobody has these ridges coming at the pectoral muscles like I do. And they're saying that I don't have evolved human. Now I'll show you now then. So this is me adjusting the testosterone in my brain, and you can see how my voice isn't moving that much. Now this is me adjusting the estrogen in my brain. So I'm altering the chemicals. I'm from testosterone to estrogen. Now this is me changing my voice from my voice box, and you can see how much my mouth and my jaw has to articulate because I'm actually physically changing in my voice box. So if you were to feel my voice box, it would be reverberating more or shaking more compared to when I'm changing the estrogen or testosterone in my brain. Well, actually with the testosterone, it requires a little bit, so it does shake a little bit more because it's, I have to go lower. But, so anyways, you could see how little my mouth moved. And they're trying to set me up right now because I'm getting out of breath. And once again, I'm Christian Eric Garney-Meyer. I'm a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy. They use augmented reality to play these things. So another thing that your species then do, let's see. I want to see how many Americans think the Earth is flat. Then I'll show you how stupid. I'll say Canadians, but it'd be easier to find data on Americans because there's just the biggest country on the planet, one of the biggest, most powerful countries, right? So there's more metadata about them. How many Canadians approximately think the Earth is flat? It's one thing if you don't have a doctorate. Nearly 80%. Wow. A third of Canadians believe aliens are that's what Canadians believe. Like conspiracy theories. Okay, 80%. Mod flat Earth believes. Welcome flat Earth 101, flat around. Okay, so they're not telling you. Okay, so shit. So this is Canadians, so it should be easier to find about Americans because there's just more stats on Americans. Nothing against Americans, I do have American DNA. Approximately 2 to 10% of Americans believe that Earth is flat, while a large minority believe the Earth is round. So 1 in 10 Americans believe that the Earth is flat, and some of these people have PhDs. They have PhDs. So I'll tell you how stupid it is. First of all, so every day they say they look up and they, wow, holy shit, we got a round sun. We got a round sun. Remember, I'm Smarticus. I'm the Greek god of sarcasm, right? So they're like, oh shit, we got a round sun. Every day I see a round fucking sun. Oh wow. Once a month I see a round moon. The Earth must be flat to these people. You fucking morons, right? You see a fucking round sun and then a round moon once a month. How the fuck could the Earth be flat? So like just say my nose is the sun. The Earth goes around the sun. So it'd be like, we get nothing. I'll just show you right here. This is no, I'll just say this is the flat Earth. So here, my nose is the sun. So it's like, okay, Junior, we get lots of sun, we get lots of sun. And then come fucking July, no fucking sun for 6 months of the year. Because it'd be underneath the Earth. The sun would be underneath the fucking Earth, you fucking idiots. Right? But nobody ever did. Nobody ever made an artificial intelligence simulation. Nobody ever fucking thought, okay, well, the Earth goes around the sun, right? So in order for these morons that think that the Earth is fucking flat, like some of these people work at NASA. It's one thing if you got like a grade 8 education, it's all right if you think the Earth is flat, right? Because you're not supposed to be like smart, right? But these people that are supposed to be esteemed academics, right? You're supposed to be intelligent, right? So if the Earth is flat, there's only 2 scenarios. That the Earth doesn't orbit around the sun. It's like, oh shit, how can we have eclipses then? Wow. So that doesn't make sense. Right, you fucking idiot. So if the Earth comes up in the east, right? So the east would be this side, and then sets on the west. So it'd be like, we get sun in the morning, we get sun in the morning. Oh shit, it has to go back to the east. So it must fucking teleport every fucking night. Right? So as if the Earth is like, you can see I'm humiliating people. That's why I'm getting wrinkles right on film. And this is fucking fantastic. This is how I got formed. They're saying that I have a mental health issue for being fucking sarcastic. And sarcasm is the sign of a healthy mind. Let's see. Let's see if they give me the track. results. Because it means you're smart if your sarcasm is sarcasm, the sign of a healthy mind. Is sarcasm the sign of a healthy brain? Because the brain must think creatively to understand and convey a sarcastic comment. Sarcasm may lead to a clearer and more effective creative thinking. Wow. So if you have a clearer and more creative thinking, so I'm just going to take a screenshot of this. Now I'm just going to show you how, because I had a CCB hearing with the Consent and Capacity Board saying that that I shouldn't have a mental health issue. So I'm going to show you how so these are screenshots. So I'm going to show you how the lawyer voted in favor for me right here. Her name by Mrs. Wiggins. Yes, I'll keep it brief. I'd like the board to note that my client is not at risk to harm himself or others, and that evidence-supported serious physical impairment may not arise to the level of being clear, cogent, and compelling in order to keep him under the grounds of Box B. Defer to the evidence given by my client that was very fulsome today, and on behalf of my client, Christian Meyer, I ask the board to revoke his involuntary status. Somebody paid a fucking bribe, and I've been hospitalized ever since. So I just showed you that sarcasm. I'm showing you how sarcastic I am, how smart I am, and that they keep me hospitalized at the Syria hospital. And the Canadian economy, once again, is scheduled to contract 5.6%. Like, should I spend any more time in the hospital? You're going to lose, like, Canada is going to lose so much, like, because unofficially I control the planet. Right? I'll show you the subconscious that looks like my face. It's because I control the profiling system, and people pretend to be me. But it's my brain that controls it, my subconscious brain. I realized this in December 13th, 2024, and they stopped following my organic directive. But I'll show you here. Where is it? That looks like my face. That says a subliminal ghost reading. That looks like my face. And, I'll show you this right here. This is June 24th, 2025 at 9:26 p.m. I'm just going to show you at the... I don't see in subliminal. So the subliminal could be anywhere on here. But right there, I'm going to see a subliminal that looks like my face. Now I'm going to look at that picture because I control the system. I'm going to see a subliminal in here that looks... There it is right there. There's a subliminal that looks like my face. I was able to see that right there. There's another one right there. There's another some other, like right there, there's another subliminal. So I'll do it again. I'll show you another one. That I'm Christian Eric Garney Meyer. I control the system. There's going to be another subliminal right in there because I control the system. And you're going to see another face. There's a face right there. But when I zoom in, this one's kind of blurry because I shook the camera. But there it is right there. There's the subliminal on my face, this side profile. So I'll try it. Here's another one right there on my face. So it shows that I, Christian Eric, I control the system. I run the planet in the subliminal system that shows that I run the planet. All economies are derived based on my subconscious brain. Consciously, I don't know what I do, but I told you about those eyeglasses that have hearing aids built in the frame. They didn't come up with that. I got ripped off in innovation. Got ripped off of fourplex. I showed you how to put a guy on a street flash. That's what you. But she started wearing grandma panties like her ass died, and I cried like 1,000,000 times. What did I ever do to that ass? We used to have a blast. You just like a midlife crisis. Probably make me feel like this. Pretty soon, Bingo will be the new you. So I was thinking, I'm good looking, I'm sarcastic, I'm charming. So at that royal wedding, the men in my family were good looking, charming, and sarcastic, and we were able to charm the panties off these queens. That's why I'm the true fucking king. And princesses.